UK Sport has introduced its first official pregnancy guidance for Olympic and Paralympic athletes, as well as sports governing bodies. The guidance provides advice for pregnancy and post-birth, including how to inform a governing body and their return to elite sport. It also confirms that anyone receiving an Athlete Performance Award will continue to get their full funding for up to 9 months after giving birth. The guidance follows an 18-month consultation process, with UK Sport Chief Executive Sally Munday saying no athlete should be forced to make a choice between elite sport and starting a family. We want to ensure that mothers and mothers-to-be are fully confident that they will be supported fairly and appropriately in all aspects of their life. World Championship bronze medalist in the 10,000 metres, Jo Pavey, has praised the move and explained how difficult things were for her as an athlete starting a family.
I wouldn't have been able to have children at a certain stage in my career because I probably then wouldn't have been able to continue with my career. I had the experience where, it's like, well, obviously starting a family was my main priority and I did that, but I very much had that worry of not knowing what was going to happen. Would I still have funding? And fortunately, I did have funding for my first pregnancy, but because I had already been named on the funding list. But then I had very strict criteria to come back from, and I did rush that. And it led me to getting injured, getting stress fractures, which is a typical thing you could get from coming back too soon. And then I obviously wasn't then given funding because I didn't achieve what I should have done. And then my second pregnancy, I wasn't receiving funding, but actually I decided, right, I've learnt my lessons from my first pregnancy. I'm not going to put any time restraints on myself. And I actually made a much more successful comeback and got one of my best performances by making sure I took my time, whatever. But it is very, very difficult and you do feel a bit in the dark. And I think now it's not only the funding, which is allowing people not to choose between a family and their sport, which is what you're mentioning, but also just the guidelines. How do you tell your sports governing body, then what's put in place and all the safety guidelines around that and how that procedure is all going to take place. I think that's really important too.
What women have tended to do is once they've got to a point in their career where they've achieved a lot of what they wanted to, they then have a baby and then come back and try and return if that's possible. Whereas now I think with the financial backing and medical support and everything else that goes along in these new guidelines, I think women have more choices around when they can do that, and actually they can see that it's possible that they can have a baby when it fits like the whole of their life and the rest of things that are going on aside from their sport, and actually still return and have that support from the governing body.